Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all, so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And a life is treating you most deliciously. So what do we do? 3, 2, 1, my juice little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Oh, come on. Come on, little lights. Shine bright. You know. Now, come on in a minute, my delicious little babies. I'm just having a bit of a problem with my lights. I don't know. My delicious little babies. Just one moment, please. And thank you. There we are, my delicious little babies, okay? Just had to take the battery out and then put the battery back in again, my delicious little babies, you know, the old Kodak. Now then, my delicious little babies, because it just appears, like I said on another video, that Duracell just doesn't seem to be working in these large lights, my delicious little babies, for some strange reason. Okay. Now then, my delicious little babies, so... what's the time, Miss Wolf? So it's 3 p.m. in our old England, my delicious little babies, okay, and the weather is very grey and it is very miserable, and the weather is holding at the moment, so it hasn't rained. Okay, here comes the rain again. You know, I'm sure it's going to be here a little bit later. Okay, my delicious little babies, and that's the weather forecast. It is a bit windy now. Okay, so hopefully I'll be able to get my washing dry. Okay, my delicious little babies, and that's the weather forecast in our old England. And I hope that wherever you are in the world, that the weather is super duper and delicious, just like your beautiful selves. Okay, my delicious little babies, now then. So what have I got for you today, my delicious little babies? So I haven't wrote anything down. Well, I have wrote a couple of things down. Okay, my delicious little babies. But what is it that I want to say? Okay, so first of all, okay, I see this, there we are, as being important, okay? So this morning, I woke up, my delicious little babies, and I had the year on the 1st of March 2026, my delicious little babies, and I had the year 2079. Okay, there we are, my delicious little babies. 2079. Okay, 2079. Okay, my delicious little babies. So if you do the calculation in between, even though I'm very sharp at maths, my delicious little babies, between 2026 and 2079, it is 53. Okay, my delicious little baby. So I am 52 now, aren't I? So if we add 53 to that, if I was to live, it would make myself 105. Look at that, my delicious little babies. Look at that. Imagine getting to the age of 105, you know, when we're supposed to be at least living till 160 or 70. You know what I mean, my delicious little babies? That's my thoughts anyway, my delicious little babies. Nobody else has to share my thoughts. It's just, that's my thoughts, okay? It's just that they seem to have it on a cap. You know what I mean, my delicious little babies? In our old England, it's usually, I don't know, in many cases between 65 and 70. Okay, so if ones get to 80, it's wow, you know what I mean? I've got to the age of 80. Wow, you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes, okay. But of course, if we go back over many years before that, decades before, you know, one's never used to you know, live over the age of 60, did the my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? So I suppose that over the decades there has been some improvement. Okay, my delicious little babies, but I just thought I'd mention that to you. Okay, on this Sunday, the 1st of March 2026, my delicious little babies, okay, yeah. 2079, 2079. Okay, Marzlish babies, it clearly means something. Okay, and I thought to myself, because when it first came into my noddle, I thought, where's that come from? You know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? It's not like I'm purchasing something for 2079, ching, 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 is it? My delicious little babies. So that number, there we are, has clearly, numbers, sorry, rather, has clearly come from somewhere. Haven't they, my delicious little babies? Yes. Anyway, the other thing I want to tell you, my delicious little babies, is this. So, and then there's something else I want to say. Okay, babies. It's just that these lats, they're a really heavy weight around my neck, babies. I've got that many of them. You know what I mean, babies? Yes. Okay. Never mind, never mind. I can always, carry more. Okay, babies. Okay. Because we've got to keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those wheels rolling. Rolling, 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 rawhide. Yeah. Now, I was listening to our dear Charlie Ward, okay? The space Charlie space Ward, WARD space show, okay? On YouTube, my delicious little babies, okay? With anybody not in that way, not in that way. Anyway, and he had a guest on, bless, okay? I was just listening earlier, actually, my delicious little babies. And YouTube wasn't circling, so they were all right about that, it seems, okay? I cannot say the same about Odyssey. I'll go on to that shortly. And something I completely forgot all about. Now, I wrote a load of stuff down. I'd have to go through things so we are to find them again. Okay, my delicious babies, but I'm going back years ago, okay? But there's something here, my delicious babies, that uploader, okay, that he said, okay. Now, I've known about this, there we are, to do with the stock markets, there we are, long time. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? Because it's all to do with your name, it's all to do with everything, there's birth certificates, there's a lot, there we are, to do with it all, okay? There we are, my delicious babies, okay? But if any of you would like to take a look at fidelity.com, okay, my delicious babies, I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Fidelity.com, okay, my delicious babies. You'll get, there we are, shall we say, a better understanding, there we are, of what I'm talking about, okay, my delicious babies. But anyway, I've known this now then, okay, for whatever o'clock, there we are, okay, my delicious babies. And the reason why I'm going to tell you this is because, you see, we're actually, for you and I out here, my delicious babies, we are heard, there we are, a lot of ka-ching, 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 okay, my delicious babies, because because for most, they will not know that they are being traded on the stock markets, okay, my delicious babies, okay. So I'm going to leave that like that. There we are, okay, my delicious babies. But it would be well worth a look. Fidelity.com, okay, my delicious babies. Because everybody's it appears as got a figure. There we are, haven't they, my delicious babies? Yes. Now then, I want to discuss now. So apparently, I've heard on a video today, my delicious babies, that is it the Iranian? Yes, Iranian. Sorry, Iranian. Sorry, do forgive me, my delicious babies. That the Iranian leader has been they have removed him in some sort of way, some sort of fashion, my delicious little babies. Now then, but I don't know if I was hearing it correct. I'm not too sure about that, my delicious little babies. Because what was it? So it was the leader, his daughter, his son-in-law, and his grandson. And the leader was his or was it, is eight, there we are, is 86, my delicious little babies. Anyway, according to what I'd heard, it's all to do with, maybe to get a different, a regime change, and everything like this now. And I always say, on different videos, okay, I've always said it, and I'm never going to stop saying it. Why don't ones just keep out of others' business in other countries? There we are. That's just a simple thing to do, isn't it, my delicious little babies? Anyway, but when I heard it, I just thought that this sounded, there we are, off. Okay, my delicious little babies. So it sounded, there we are, off. You know what I mean, my delicious little babies? For some unknown reason. And not only that, but I feel that it's happened all rather quickly. I mean, it's just happened all rather quickly, hasn't it, my delicious little babies? I don't know, there's something that doesn't, let's just say, sit right with myself. Put it that way. You know what I mean, my delicious little babies? I mean, some could say, well, I could be wrong. Anyway, this is my view. I don't feel that I am. Not at all. Okay, my delicious little babies. So, and plus the fact was I listening to another video. Was it yesterday? Just going over the dots. I was listening yesterday, and what was it? You were seeing these buildings blown up. But I don't know, again, was I listening correctly to the video? But apparently there's nobody in the buildings. So it was a case of they are blowing buildings up. And, I should imagine one or two. And then not having anybody in it, these buildings. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Yes. Seems all very strange to myself, if you ask me, my delicious little babies. That's just my thoughts. Others can have their view. I'm a woman with a view. There we are. I shall have my effing view, and that's my view. So, the way I see this, my delicious little babies, is like this, is that I'm pretty sure that we're going to be hearing, that we are more that comes out of this. I mean, there's others, let's just say, who are supposed to have passed, but they're not really passed, are they, my delicious little babies? You know what I mean, my delicious little babies? Seems very odd, and it's just the number as well. Do you see what I mean? Okay. If you look at poor Mr. Gaddafi, not that I want to get into all geopolitical, my delicious little babies, but following, there we are, to the best of my ability, there we are, of what is supposedly going on. My delicious little babies, yes. Well, it's like our dear Mr. Gaddafi. They were, let's just say, trying to hunt him down. And then when they found him and everything, it appears to myself, wanted to make sure that it was paraded all over the television. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Yes. Okay. So this sounds, it's got an itch in my eye, this just sounds rather, wow. Wow, wow, wow. You know what I mean, my delicious babies? Yes. Okay. But poor Mr. Gaddafi, yeah. Because, no one's saying that your man there was perfect. Not by any stretch of the imagination. He too got roped in. There we are, to this circle, circle, circle. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? But he genuinely, especially towards the end of his life, from different videos that I've seen of Mr. Gaddafi, He genuinely, there we are, wanted to make good, positive changes, um, realising, I feel, that's just my view, okay, that some of the wrong things that could have been done a different way, sadly got done a different way, okay, and then over the years and decades, there we are, then he come to realise something else, there we are, that's how I read Mr. Gaddafi now. Okay, my delicious little babies, and of course, as I've mentioned on some of my other videos, sometimes Mr. Gaddafi, there we are, will come, not in that way, straight to my birth race, my delicious little babies, and then of course, what is it, 2 or 3 days after, there we are, then I usually hear something on another video, there we are, my delicious little babies, do you see what I mean, okay? Yes. So, we shall see how this unfolds, my delicious little babies. Now, the other thing I wanted to say, okay, is this, okay, because it's going to be very interesting to hear some other uploaders, what their views are on all of this, my delicious little babies, like our dear, and like I say, with anybody not in that way, our dear Mag Bitter Truth, Next Level All Spaces on YouTube, my delicious little babies, or Fakeologist #3 altogether, my delicious little babies, also on YouTube, okay, to hear what Fake Nukesville and Tim have got to say, okay, my delicious little babies, okay. So it's going to be, that we are, very interesting to hear. They haven't put any videos out as yet, but it's going to be interesting, there we are, what their take on this is, my delicious little babies, yes. Okay, because I know, like I've just said, there we are, what my thoughts are. I'm just wondering, there we are, what they're going to say. Do you know what I mean? Okay, my delicious little babies now then. So, and let's not forget, Jim Roserli either, who is also alongside Tim and Fake Nukesville on Fakeologist #3, my delicious little babies. Okay. Mind you, their videos are usually of a Friday. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, so we have yet to see what happens there, my delicious little babies, to do with the Iran situation. Okay, now the final thing I want to say, my delicious little babies, and I'm going to be over and out, is Odyssey. Now, I've been noticing for quite a while now, my delicious little babies. I was was it yesterday? I was trying to listen to Josh, World All Spaces, Alternative Media, Odyssey, ODYSEE. I usually quack, quack, duck, duck, go it, my delicious little babies, and type it in that way, okay? And well, I'll tell you what, I was struggling. This video was just over an hour long, okay? And I really, it wasn't myself struggling, my delicious little babies. It's a problem with Odyssey, it appears. Now, this has been going on, there we are, for a while now, okay, with Odyssey. Where all it kept doing was circling. Now, we went through a stage with this, with YouTube, okay? And it was a rather... it's a colossal time, actually. That was it. It was especially doing it on YouTube to do with the Russia and Ukraine, there we are, war, because I remember it. Okay, my delicious little babies, it's like every time you wanted to listen to a video, circle, 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 to make it virtually impossible for oneself, to try to follow it, because, you don't want to keep... especially when you're wanting to find out information, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Do you see what I mean? Okay, but that's what Odyssey's doing. Now, who I wanted to listen to was Josh, World Alternative Media, but he was interviewing, not in that way, Patrick Henningson. Okay, my delicious little babies. In this video, was over an hour long, just over an hour long. And Patrick at the moment, where was he at that time of filming? He was in Mexico, but he'd already been to Tehran, because I listened to another video and he'd been in Tehran. Okay, my delicious little babies, and I really wanted to listen to this video. And nearly all the way through, my delicious little babies, okay, it just kept stopping, and then I'd have to click on it, and then, you know what I mean, the LAN, you know, and then it'd do a few more words, and then it's back to it again. And it's done exactly the same today, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Okay, so there's clearly, there we are, something going on, like they're not wanting you to hear, there we are, certain things now. And not only that, but I could be wrong again, maybe I have not been hearing correctly, but you know, ones that are not really allowed into, is it into Iran or something? Something along those lines, my delicious little babies. Okay, but we had the same with Russia, Ukraine. We had the same with Gaza. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, so there seems to be that we are a theme, doesn't there, my delicious little babies? Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, that's all I'm saying. You know, I do not have anything else to say, so I'm just going to tick off what it is that I've spoken about today, my delicious little babies. We just need to continue to go backwards. Oh, yes, that's another thing, my delicious little babies, just before I go. So here we go again. Here we go again. So I always send, right, and if I speak to somebody, okay, so I say, oh, you know, have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is, okay? Whatever o'clock it is. And I'll say, oh, yes, okay, love and blessings to you all, okay? Love and blessings to you all, whether it means one of my lovely little families who I know on my road, you know, whether it is if I put it in a card, if I'm sending somebody a birthday card, you know, I will put love and bright blessings. Okay, you know, not in that way, not in that way, okay? I could be sending a card to anybody. But that's what I put. Now, I was talking, there we are, many, there we are, years ago. Okay, my delicious babies. And I want to get this off my chest. Okay, my delicious babies, because this is really beginning to piss me off. Okay, my delicious babies. And I said that words, there we are, words are spells. And I knew this long time. Many years before I ever started a YouTube channel. There we are. Okay, my delicious baby. So nobody need to come to myself and tell a granny how to suck egg, isn't it? So the past, is it 2 or 3 times now then? So I leave on a channel, which I do. The channels that are selected, there we are, who I choose to, I put you know, thank you. Could be dear, could be their names. And then, do you understand what I mean? And just say bright blessings to you all, or bright blessings to you always. Okay, so I do not mean anything at all with what I put. Okay, yes, words are spells. If they're used, I feel, incorrectly, okay, there we are. And there are many times when over decades we've all done it, you know, where you've used words incorrectly without realising, my delicious little babies, okay? But it depends as well, okay, there we are, on the energy of when you're sending a message. So, say, for example, even though I do not celebrate the fake Crimbo, but out of respect, I will always send, you know, these fake Crimbo cards, you know, not too many, okay, but just out of respect, because usually I receive cards, you know, myself, okay? It's not like a give to receive thing. It's just like, you know what I mean? I've lived on this road for over 10 years. Now, the thing is this, right? So I happen, there we are, to be most fond, not in that way, clearly, very fond of all my little families who I know. They're all, there we are, lovely little families. So why would I want to put, there we are, ding, ding, dong, dong. It's just a question, not to you, my delicious little babies, okay? But this is really pissing me off now, okay, my delicious little babies. So why would I want to put love and bright blessings and mean something nasty and mean the opposite? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So if that's the case, when I write cards to my own little baby daughters, you know, because they are beautiful, bless them, right? So if I put love and bright blessings, mum, do you see what I mean? And lots of kisses, okay? So I'm sending it to my own daughters, isn't it? But I would never in a million years, just the same as to my beautiful friends, very small circle, or my dear lovely little families who I know on the road. Okay, so I would never ever wish to send anything meaning it in a nasty manner at all. Because everybody, once again, there we are, knows myself. Do you see? Okay. So it appears to myself that you know, either maybe there's another way that we could look at this, you know, that maybe they don't want me to comment on that channel, you know, just to say thank you and bright blessings, you know what I mean? Okay, it's like it's a similar thing with the Richard verbs, and I'm getting the same with what is it, Richard Willett? You say. So when I just put thank you and bright blessings, you know, because I've enjoyed, there we are, listening to the video. It's very educational. Okay, I mean nothing by it. I'm just being pleasant. So somebody's getting really pissed off, it seems, because they keep putting, and I am going to, there we are, I am addressing it and I'm saying it in my camera, there we are, to you, my delicious little babies, okay? Somebody is clearly getting mighty pissed off, aren't they? Because they keep putting, I wish you would stop putting be less. So what they're doing is they're breaking the word up. Blessings. So they're breaking it up. Be less ing. Do you see what I mean, ings? Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? That is not how I mean it at all. So there was somebody, what was it? Was it yesterday? You know, when I got round to looking at this reply, this comment, okay, because it's not like myself to receive replies. It's very rare I ever receive replies, my delicious babies, okay? So, you know, we stopped doing this. And who is it? Crypto somebody. Okay. So I thought, what mood am I in? I thought, because I was busy yesterday, right? My delicious little babies. Anyway, I've been busy today. Anyway, that's all besides the point, what I want to say, my delicious little babies. What's the point I'm making? You see, I thought, shall I just leave it? Just flipping hide this bloody notification. And I thought, no, I'm not. So, because it said crypto something, I put, you know, well, I've just put, you know, if it's crypto, well, I'm just trying to remember what to put. Anyway, words to effect, right? And I basically I put, you know, well, with something crypto, I said, should be questioned anywhere. Do you know what I mean? And then, of course, I put F, and then I put off. So I never spelt the full word, you know, use the full word. My delicious babies, I just put F off. You know, you twat. There we are. Because I meant, there we are. I meant every single word of what I just said. All the words what I said. There we are. I meant every single one of them. You know what I mean? Why should it bother somebody else what I put? But this has been happening 2 or 3 times now then. So if this continues, I say it in my camera, I'm really sorry, Richard Willett, because I always advertise everybody. I do not mean any nastiness towards anybody, but should this continue, I just won't send any more comments, okay? Because all that it does with myself, my delicious little babies, okay? Especially when I know that I'm not doing anything to be harmful to anybody. Okay, I'm just sending a polite comment back. Okay, so seeing as I know this now, then right, I do not have to feel like I should get effing, there we are, wound up. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? If somebody wants to see it that way, there we are, then let them stay, there we are, where they are. Okay, this is what I've just be done saying. And to who it is who does this now, I wish them well, there we are, on their journey, isn't it? Okay, and I'm saying it, there we are, in my camera to this crypto, whatever he or she effing well is. And I'm pretty sure it's probably a man. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? So whoever it is, I couldn't give Fiddler's F anyway. The fact of the matter is, don't get sending me now then, there we are, silliness. And I'll repeat once again in my camera, don't let nobody tell a granny how to suck damn eggs. Because I knew about all of this now then, there we are, way before, pretty sure now, there we are, then who sent that to myself. I never needed to stumble here, martylish to babies, okay? Because I've known Debbie for many years. And if anybody spoke to one of my beautiful dear little friends, you know, my very close circle of friends, okay? Because you've got to be very careful who you meet these days, okay? Martylish to babies, the fact of the matter is this. You know, they would be done, there we are telling. Do you know what I mean? Just like what I've just said in my camera now. You see what I mean, okay? Words can be used for good or bad. Okay, martylish to babies, okay? But I'll repeat again, over decades, especially if you didn't know many decades ago, you could say something, you know, and not sparing a thought, could you? Do you see what I mean? But of course, that can carry weight. There we are, in another way. Do you see what I mean? Martylish to babies, yes. So that's how I'm going to leave it. But if it continues, lights off. I'm just not going to be sending anymore. So, you know, I never need to apologise to anybody on my camera for sending what I regard as a polite comment, okay? If I wanted to, put it this way, martylish to babies, okay? And then I'm just going to leave my video like this now then, okay? But thank you for any views, for any likes, so we are for the occasional comments, okay? But put it this way, if I wanted to put something, there we are, very nasty and vex, okay? There we are. Believe you me on this one, okay? There we are. I'll be done doing it, and I feel no way for what I do, okay? That is the thing about myself. Do you see what I mean, okay? I'm not false and I'm not fake. What one see of myself, there we are, is what ones get. You know what I mean? Sold as seen, not literally. Okay? So that's all I've got to say, martylish to babies. So usually this kind of thing happens now then, from what I could see anyway. When maybe others, you know, for whatever reason, they just don't want me to comment to that channel. Well, that's fine, you know, because I will not. You know what I mean? I'm not going to, there we are, waste my fingers typing now. Do you know what I mean? Okay? But at the same time, you know, I do not even know why I have to flipping say this. There should be no even reason for me to say this. But this is how, there we are, pathetic, you see. This is the world that we're living in, martylish little babies, okay? But I was waiting for the one to come back and send me another message, and they never. Maybe they didn't like what I'd typed back. Call themselves crypto, whoever you there we are, whoever you effing are now then. Come back and send me another message, isn't it? And see what you get then. Not to you, martylish little babies. But I just weren't, there we are, I just weren't put up with the shout. But whoever treats me in this manner, there we are, let me tell you, like I've said earlier, I wish them well, there we are, on their journey. Okay, martylish little babies, so wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected. And how I love you so, you're super duper wonderful, super duper delish. And I love you. Okay, so until my next video, thank you for listening. Goodbye.